I'm not able to get creative ideas and I'm working all the time. This was what I used to think previously. But as I started working over the last 2 decades, I figured out that we don't get creative when we get ample time with us. So for example, I tried to take a vacation of 2 weeks where I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to think. I let my creative juice flow and no idea came up. No creative thing I was able to do. Most of the creative ideas that I was able to get was when I was jam-packed with work or different activities or things that I would have never imagined. Now my perspective is we are most creative when we are somebody bind us with limited things. So in 2012, I decided that every year I'm going to take a new resolution, and that year I thought that I have to exercise and I have to also start reading books. And I had no time. So I had to figure out something within my work schedule itself. So I thought that I'm going to start walking every day in the morning, and while I'm walking, I'm going to read the book. So I was the only guy who you would see walking on the streets of Singapore with a book in the hand and walking. It was crazy for me itself, but it worked. I started walking. That was a slow step of me towards the exercise path, and I also started reading book. And I've read hundreds of books. And I've started using the same strategy every time. Whenever something comes up and someone says it's impossible, I try to think at how we can do the same thing within the same time period, within the same number of people or resources. And that's when I was able to come up with new ideas. And when I started seeing all the things around myself, I thought that people have been most creative when they don't have enough money with them. It's not the largest companies that have been able to come up with creative ideas or solution. It was always the smallest, which have less resources, less time, less manual power. So if they have to launch a software with limited resource, server and bandwidth, they try to figure out how they can build it with less resources, making it fast, making with less features, and it worked. So what I would like to say to everybody is that when someone pressurizes you and say that, can you do it within the same time period? Don't think it needs to be done in the same way how you used to do before. That's an opportunity to get creative and come up with new ideas how you can do it. I had no time to actually write a LinkedIn post. So I used my 3 minutes to actually record this and get done with it. It's not a creative idea, but it does allow me to get creative and do new things. Try to do new things in 2023 with this new mindset. I would feel very happy.